chapter 2, we will try to conclude, and it's going on live now, just to let you know. So I was just saying last weekend we could not do it. We were stuck somewhere and there was no internet there. Well, there was supposed to be Wi-Fi, but that Wi-Fi didn't work for some reason. And I will update you on WhatsApp as well, because I will be traveling next 2 Sundays, I guess. Next Saturday, we're going to start travel. And then again, we are going somewhere where there is no internet. This time, there's no Wi-Fi at all. Sometimes it's good to be at those places because you get so much realizations. You can cut yourself down from a lot of other things. Hare Krishna. So I'm just going to go in full mode. Hare Krishna. So overview of Srimad Bhagavad-Gītā. This is what we've been doing. This presentation has been put together by a very sincere and a senior disciple, a great devotee, and Amrit Ananda Prabhuji. His email ID is there. If anyone would like to contact him, he's very widely known for all his presentations. And of course, everything comes from Srila Prabhupada Ji. Srila Prabhupada Ji is the one who inspired all of us to go out and spread the word of Krishna. Let's do Mangalachan and then we shall resume back where we left. Feel free to join me if you like. Ajnana-timirandasya Jnana-jana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapradantikam. Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Yuda Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatha Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitam Cha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopeka Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishvanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshitarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev Maharaj ki jai, Samaved Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Jai Jai Shri Radhe Shyam. Hare Krishna Di.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hari Bol. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Very nice. I'm so well. Krishna Kripa. It's the mercy of Krishna that today we managed to join. My apologies. Last weekend we were away. I know your dad was in touch, but I could not even see the messages because we did not have any internet where we went. And sometimes we do go on these retreats. It was not a retreat when we went last weekend, though. But yes, yeah, I will let you know maybe next 2 Sundays, we will be away. Well, we will be away for sure. But if in case I can get someone else, another devotee who might be able to run the sessions, that will be great because we will have the continuity going. But it's so good. And Hare Krishna, Rajesh Krishna Prabhuji. I was just looking for someone, and Prabhuji, you come. See, this is how Krishna reciprocates. I just had that desire that I don't want the kids to miss, and Prabhuji just turned up. Prabhuji is a great devotee, and Prabhuji is so good to have. Feel free to add anything you would like for the benefit of all of us. Hare Krishna. Right. So what we've been doing, let's very quickly revise chapter 2 because we need to move on to chapter 3. And interesting enough, even in adults class, which we do Saturday morning, which we will able to do next Saturday because we are going to leave soon after that. But Saturday, we are doing Shri Ishopanishad, but for last 3 sessions, we are doing how to understand karma and different types of karma. And the next topic we need to start is chapter 3, and that topic is Karma Yoga. So that presentation we put together for adults, that presentation will be very useful for our next chapter. But today we are going to summarize, and even if we have summarized on time, there is no question, no discussion point, we can move on to chapter 3 today if we like. So what we have seen in chapter 2. So just to let you know, this is how we've been doing. So not verse to verse, but this is what we call thematic. So there is a theme, and based on the theme, so from verse, let me get my cursor out. From the verse 2 to 6, this is what happening. So we are not reading every verse, but we are going through the theme. So in those verses, what happened? What has Arjun asked for? Right? So Arjun said, Bhishma and Drona, how can I fight with them? And now Krishna explains, and look at the smile, right? Arjun, so we will see the next verse, 2.7, Arjun was so worried. Arjun has left his bow and arrow. Arjun said, I can't fight. And Krishna is smiling, right? Krishna is smiling. And with a smile, Krishna said, why are you worried? I'm right here with you. And if you think about it, and before some of you joined, this is what our good friend Avinash was saying, that when he did Bhagavad-Gītā, he read Bhagavad-Gītā, and the difficult times come. And the difficult times come all the times, right? Remember, Krishna and Arjun. So Krishna was there right at front of Arjun. Even after that, Arjun's beloved son, Abhimanyu, he was killed, right? And there were still so many different things happened to Pandavas, all the 5 brothers. Krishna was there right at the front of them, right? But Krishna was there to guide them. Krishna was there to support them. But based on their previous karmas, which we will do, karmas, the actions, whatever results of their previous karmas came at the front of these 5, they had to bear. But Krishna gave them the strength to overcome them. And this is exactly what Avinash had confirmed in the beginning of the class, that just because he had that wisdom from Bhagavad-Gītā, it was so easy, relatively easier for him to bear all the stress, which unfortunately the world been going for last 2 years. So all the devotees, they don't get panic. And somebody said, so Amog Leela Prabhuji, I heard from him that there's no sad devotee. This is what we call oxymoron. There is no sad devotee. Like there is no rich beggar. If you're a beggar, you can't be rich, or there could not be any poor king, right? These 2 words could not come together. If they do, they conflict with each other, and they're called oxymorons in English. So there can't be a sad devotee, because if you are a devotee, you can't be sad. The only sadness one devotee could have is just like when Srila Prabhupada ji started crying when he saw a lot of people getting into a bus fighting for the seat, and Prabhupada ji, the tears rolling down. And Prabhupada ji has a disciple next to him and said, Prabhupada ji, why are you crying? And he said, look at this. This scene reminds me of how animals get together in one very crowded place. What are they doing? Where are they going? They don't understand. They are working so hard for very little gain, very, very, very little gain, because most of the time we don't realize what we are looking for. And we are looking for mainly material desires, but we are spiritual beings, right? So spirituality, Krishna consciousness should be our focus, and rest of the things, they will just continue. They will continue, right? It's not that we are going to leave the material world, but hopefully one day we will. But the focus should be Krishna consciousness. Krishna should be in the center, and rest of the things will get sorted. And this is what Arjun did on 7th verse, with the verse Karpanya dosho upatasya bhava chami tvam dharma samuracheta yashvesham nishchitam brui tanme shishyastham shadimam tvam prapannam. So this is the verse, and this is the translation. Anyone would like to read the translation, please?
Could I? This is
Please.
Devi speaking. Now I
Please.
am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of misery, weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered to you. Please entrust me.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Devika. So for certain, so Krishna is going to tell exactly what's required. And this is what a disciple, our students ask. So until then, Krishna was happily listening what Arjun said. Remember, Arjun gave 5 reasons why he cannot fight. But right now, Arjun is not giving any more explanations, no justifications, no reasoning. Arjun is saying, I'm confused. Please, could you help me? And then Krishna said, of course, that's what I've been waiting for. And now Krishna is going to help Arjun. And then how Krishna is going to help Arjun? Krishna is going to give the knowledge. And then in this, we will see there again, as we said, different themes are there. And within the themes, Krishna will give different yogas, different paths. So jnana is one, karma is another one, dhyana is one, then bhakti yoga is the best one. And this is what Arjun will ask from Krishna again and again. Could you please, you have given a lot of different options. I'm confused here. Could you please tell me which is the best out of these two? And then rest of the Bhagavad-Gītā is going to clarify all those doubts. Otherwise, within chapter 2, Krishna has given everything. The rest of the chapters of Bhagavad-Gītā, Krishna is going to get more in detail, going to answer a lot more questions Arjuna asked. And why it's interesting for us? Because these questions, they come to our life, personal life, right? When we need to make decisions. So the very first thing is jnana. So remember, usually when we read Sanskrit or Hindi, usually we write from G, but from Sanskrit to English, it's actually J. And the way we pronounce it is jnana. Jnana. So this is jnana, which is literal translation of knowledge. Sometimes the Sanskrit words, we have the loose translations in English because English language doesn't have the exact translation of one particular word. And there are many. For example, soul, what we call Atma or Atman in Sanskrit we don't have a literal translation of that word, but the closest one is soul. A lot of times, if, for example, Christians will hear this word soul, then they might get confused, because from their understanding, soul stands for something else. But Prabhupada makes it very clear what soul is. So jnana. So very first thing Krishna explains that there's nothing to worry, because everybody is going to get born and everybody is going to get die. But when we die, what happens then? What happens then? So this is the point. We die, the body dies, the soul transforms from one body to another, and then this circle starts and it continues, right? It continues. If you see this step on the left and this step on the right is exactly the same, and these phases come, and we have all seen this in our body. We have not changed, but our body has changed. So what has not changed? The soul has not changed. What has changed? The body has changed. So there's nothing to worry about it. It's like you got a very nice attire, your dress is there, your t-shirt is there, and then you can't keep that forever. No, especially for kids, because you're going to grow out of it, right? So if you will get attached to it, then that attachment is going to be the reason of your unhappiness, not the t-shirt. T-shirt is not if it's the t-shirt, for example, or if it's a dress, that dress or that t-shirt is not the reason. The attachment with that t-shirt or with that dress is definitely going to be the reason of unhappiness, because we know sooner or later either we will go or these dresses will go. And the body is another kind of dress. It's very expensive. We need to take good care of it, because we are going to keep it for a very, very long time. But after all, at the end, it is just another dress. So this comes from experience, and I'm sure a lot of us, we're going to find out. So tolerate happiness and distress. This is what we call duality. So a lot of times in our life, we will see there are two things: happiness, sadness, right? We get happy and we get sad. What Krishna says, if you follow my words in Bhagavad-Gītā, you're going to get the key of not happiness. There is another word comes in Sanskrit called ananda, and in English we call bliss. So happiness is what we could say from outside. Bliss is from inside. Outside factors could change, corona and many other things, they will keep coming. We can't really control that. But what we can control is ourselves. What we can control is our mind, or we can engage our mind. We can control our senses. We cannot control the sense objects which are outside, which are external. Right? So the dualities. Then we serve the characteristics of souls. There are so many. And again, a theme was 12th to 30th. Krishna has given so many details, so many details. Why we are interested in these details of soul? Because we are that soul. We are not this body. We are that soul. Beautiful thing. It's eternal. Body changes, but it doesn't change. And Krishna says it's indestructible. So when you're going to kill Bhishma or Drona, based on their previous karma, and even now you can see they are supporting the wrong side. Their body, this birth, going to be ended anyways. If you're not going to kill them, they're going to get killed by someone else. What does that really mean? Obviously, it's very hard for Arjuna at that point. But as we will go along in Bhagavad-Gītā, we will understand. But basically, at this point, Krishna is making clear to Arjuna that we are not this body. Don't worry about the body. Dronacharya, your teacher, is a soul, and you cannot do anything with the soul. Soul is always safe. Bhishma Pitama, your great father, is a soul. What's going to end here, which is supposed to be ended, is just the body. So after that, Arjun think, oh, right, okay, I need to follow my religion. I'm a Kshatriya. Kshatriya is supposed to be someone who protects. So because the other side, Dronacharya, Bhishma, because they are helping Duryodhan. Duryodhan is a wrong person, wrong side, doing a wrong thing. And all the, what we call praja, all the citizens of that place, it's my responsibility to give them protection from Duryodhan and all those baddies who are with Duryodhan, right? And that's the reason I need to kill. Not for my personal sense gratification that I will get the kingdom. What will I do if I will get the kingdom because all my relatives going to die? It's one of those, remember, E is for enjoyment, one of those excuses, reasons he was giving. But then it's not about Arjun. It's about the kingdom. It's about the citizens. It's about doing the right thing, being a Kshatriya, which was to protect. And there are many other, a lot of them we have seen, and we will touch base on these again and again and again in Bhagavad-Gītā, because at the end of the day, we all are soul. So your characteristics and my characteristics, they are exactly same. Your body and my body, they're different, but your soul and my soul, they are same, right? And then again, the true nature of soul, and we will get more details about it as Krishna will reveal to Arjun. But what we can understand is that if we remember this, the differences we have, material, they all are relative, right? So your body 5 years back was different, your body 5 years later will be different. Same thing with me, same thing with everyone, right? Some obviously will get age quicker, some might age if they will do yoga, or they will do many more good, if they develop good hobbies, depends what they do, based on their lifestyle choices, they might get quicker aging or slower aging. It depends. However, everybody is going to age, but the body is going to get aged, and we should not be attached to the body. Right. So we have seen this Karma Kanda, Karma Yoga, also called Nishkam Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, a lot of knowledge, and we will see. So chapter 3 is Karma Yoga. So currently we are just doing the very quick summary of chapter 2, what we have already done. But later, chapter 3, the next topic we will start will be Karma Yoga. Then Jnana Yoga. Chapter 4 is Jnana Yoga. Chapter 5 is the mixture of Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. And then chapter 6 is Ashtanga Yoga. Then from chapter 7 to chapter 12 is called Bhakti Yoga. It's going to define Bhakti Yoga. Then from chapter 13 to chapter 18, the last 6 chapters, they are going to be Jnana with Bhakti. So chapter 4 is also Jnana, chapter 5 is Jnana plus Karma. But at the end, the last 6 chapters, the knowledge with Bhakti. So that's how it's going to be. This is what Bhagavad-Gītā is. If somebody will ask what it is, you can say there are 3 different sections there. First 6 Karma Yoga. Sorry, first 6 Karma Yoga. That's the predominant concept. Karma, how we should do actions. The middle 6, the devotion for the Lord. And once we understood devotion for the Lord, then the knowledge, how could we do the devotion for the Lord in anything and everything we do. So a lot of different things we are going to learn, very practical, like when we eat food, when we think, when we read, what types of books we should read, what kind of knowledge we should try to gain. And they all are given in chapter 16, chapter 17, later in chapter 18. Chapter 14 is going to list out a lot of 26 qualities we need to have. It's good to have those 26 qualities. And we all have those qualities, but we don't remember. It's like everyone, whenever we see a bird, for example. It's a nature of a human. When a child is born and the child will see a bird, the child will always love the bird. And if somebody will try to hurt the bird, child might get tears in his eyes. He might start crying. That's a true nature. But what happens? Slowly that child grows, and then nearby people, environment, association will tell, oh, it's okay to hurt, it's okay to lie, it's okay to steal, or a lot of wrong things based on the association. And then the child will become maybe a good devotee or maybe not so good. Depends on how the upbringing is. But the true nature is always to help, always to serve others. And this is what we say, we need to be self-realized. What do we self-realize? Which is already there with us. It's like a £5 or 5 rupees or 5 dirhams or $5 note bill we have in our pocket, but we just don't know. So we are already Satya Chit Ananda, eternal conscious bliss. We are already there. But the only thing is we have put so many coverings there. And that's the reason we don't remember. And the whole purpose of Bhakti Yoga is just to take those coverings away, just to reflect back what our true nature is. And this is going to happen. So after that, we just went into a quick detail of all that. And then we saw a great cycle, which we will see very briefly today. So I'm going to flick through a lot of slides because we discuss each of them. But we are going to go into detail because they have their respective chapters or chapters. So Ashtanga Yoga is chapter 6, one chapter. Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, they have multiple chapters. Karma Yoga, basically in chapter 3, and then in chapter 5, mixed with Jnana. And that's how the whole Bhagavad-Gītā is there. Hare Krishna. And good to have Tanmay as well. So good to have you, Tanmay.
I have a question.
Adi, I'm trying to read. What is it? Is it something you have put in the chat? Is it
I have a question.
You have a question. All right, let's go for the question. Because
That's why I put that face.
All right, okay. Very, very innovative.
You wrote Bhagavad-Gītā.
Yeah. Who wrote Bhagavad-Gītā?
I meant who drew out Bhagavad-Gītā, like the photos.
Oh, photos.
Like
these photos?
Yeah, no, for the Bhagavad-Gītā book, what was the drawer of the book?
Okay, do you mean illustrator who drew all these pictures?
Yeah.
All right, okay. Very nice. Thank you. And this is the beauty of having pictures, because graphics, they always stay with us.
I meant the book. He wrote the book.
Okay, great question. So let's go for the first thing, that who wrote the book, because that answer is very clear, very straightforward. So there was a sage. So the knowledge was there many years back. And the closest we can remember is 5,000 years, right? 5,500 years, let's say. It's a bit less than that. But around 5,500 years back, what used to happen before that our memory, the humans' memory, was very sharp. So you will tell me a poem and I will remember the poem. And it's still we have many humans who have such. So somebody I know who remember the whole 700 verses of Bhagavad-Gītā. Somebody who remember one chapter 15 or chapter 12 of Bhagavad-Gītā. All the verses, they just remember. And they're only 20 verses, so it's easier to remember. But somebody who is new might not be able to. With practice, it happens. But before 5,000 years back, it was like a normal thing. Like I think these days the normal is, if you ask everyone what's your name, hopefully everybody would remember their name.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Ishan, please.
I had a question. How was Vyasadeva related to Dhritarashtra?
How Vyasa
I can't pronounce the name, the author of the book.
Yes. Dhritarashtra. Very good question. Okay, let me answer Adi's question, and then I will answer your question. And or to give a quick answer, I think we have that. Okay. Okay, I'm moving on to that. But while I'm finding that slide, we'll answer 5,000 years. We'll answer. I'm just reading the chat as well. We'll answer Adi. So what Adi said. Okay, thank you, Avinash. So, oh yes. So that's right. 5,000 years ago, it says, because Kali Yuga began 5,000 years back. But what happened? Okay, I'm just going to find and then leave one slide here. Okay, oops. Oh, it's going very fast. All right, okay. I will leave this here and we will discuss this and we will refer back to this. All
My
right.
question was that who wrote the book when the war started, and who was drawing the picture at the time?
Great. So first thing, who wrote? So the Bhagavad-Gītā happened many years back, right? And in chapter 4, we will see how many years back. The calculation is also given. But at that time, it just happened. And there was no writing. Well, there was a bit of writing, but it was restricted. But what happened 5,000 years later, 5,000 years ago from now, roughly, what happened that memory was going down, Kali Yuga was starting. So somebody, Brahmaji, requested Vedavyasa, a sage, to write. So this happened before, and people remembered in their memory that it was there, but nobody wrote it. Sometimes it happens in the family that mother has given a shopping list and the father would remember. But very soon what will happen that Adi will get another brother or sister and the shopping list will get bigger and bigger in the family. And then father said, I'm getting old now. I can't remember all these shopping lists. When it was only 2 of us, it was easy to remember. But now there are so many things, better write it down. This is what happened with us. Humans could not remember so much. So Vedavyasa, Veda, because he wrote Veda, otherwise Vyasa was his name, right? And on the screen, Adi, if you see, this is Vedavyasa. Yeah, this is Vedavyasa. So Vyasa Deva. So Vyasa was his name, Dev because he was saintly, and because he wrote Veda, so that's the reason we called him Vedavyasa. So Vedavyasa was the one who wrote Bhagavad-Gītā, or all the Vedic scriptures. Now, the pictures were drawn much later by different devotees. So Vedavyasa only put the words there. There are many different scriptures, many different books we have, like Srimad Bhagavatam. So in Bhagavad-Gītā, we only have 700 verses. Srimad Bhagavatam, we have 18,000 verses. And there are examples there where, for example, there are cantos there. In one canto, you have many chapters. So there are 12 cantos in Srimad Bhagavatam. So canto 3, for example, chapter 22, is where there is another sage called Kardamba Muni. He met Lord. So he saw Lord, just like you and me, we can see each other. And he gave the description that, oh, Krishna, you are looking like this, you're wearing this, you have flute in hand, your color is looking like this. So from there, so everything is written in words. The description is there. At that time, only description. And there are many other places like this where different devotees met and saw Lord. The description is there. Based on those descriptions, devotees later drew the pictures. Not one devotee, many different devotees. Now, if you are good in drawing, then you can also draw how Krishna looks like. And I will tell you a very quick story. They were, because you know, the boys and girls just like you're so creative and so confident. And there was a girl who was drawing in the drawing class, and it was a free class. So the teacher said, have your creativity going, draw anything you like. And the teacher came just to oversee, and teacher asked that girl, because the girl was drawing something, and teacher could not figure out what that was. And teacher said, so what are you drawing? And she said, I'm drawing the picture of God. And the teacher laughed. Teacher said, nobody knows how God looks like. And she replied, well, they will know in a bit, because I'm going to draw it. Right? I'm going to draw God. So after I have finished, people will know how God looks like, even if nobody knows by now. And this is what happened. Based on scriptures, devotees started drawing. Okay, so two questions Adi asked. The first question, who wrote it? Ved Vyas. So we don't say he wrote it, he compiled it, because it was already there before, but he compiled it. And then the pictures were from different devotees based on the scriptures based on the descriptions in the scriptures. And now Avinash has said the sun is 4.6 billion years ago, I guess. That's right. So this is what gets clarified in chapter 4. That's what I said. Around 5,000 years ago, when Kali Yuga started, Veda Vyasa put together the Bhagavad-Gītā. But Bhagavad-Gītā is much older than that. And it was told to sun god. And sun god had a name called Vivaswana. And that's the very first thing, first 4 verses of Bhagavad-Gītā. When we will reach to that, we will discuss more on that. Okay. Thank you so much, Adi, for asking that question. Now on Ishan's question. Ishan, in this slide, if we see, so, okay, let me just take this away. This is Kuru family. So it's still in India. In North India, we have a place called, is it North or Central? We have a place called Kurukshetra. Kshetra is a field. So in England, we have Sheffield. We have Wakefield. So similarly, we have many fields. In India, fields are called, in Hindi, we call Kshetra. So Kurukshetra, and we have many Kshetras there. So that area was owned by, well, there was a time the whole planet was known Kuru. So that's why we call Kurukshetra, those who live there, right? So Shantanu, well, there were many Kurus, but Shantanu was one of those. Shantanu got married to Ganga, who was a celestial. Now, why Ganga came down, there's a story behind it. And then we got Bhishma Pitama based on that. Now, Shantanu, Ganga went back to heavenly abode after delivering Bhishma. Then Shantanu got married to someone else called Satyavati. And Satyavati got another son from the mind, and that son was Ved Vyasa. So Satyavati, and you can say Shantanu as well, but Satyavati was the mother of Ved Vyasa. And Satyavati lived for very long. So now Shantanu and Satyavati, they had children, Chitranga and Vichitravirya. Chitranga, poor guy, he died very quick. He didn't have any wives. Vichitravirya got 2 wives, Ambika and Ambalika. And there was another one who could not become the wife. And okay, Amba, and she's not here. I think I told you the story of her as well. But Vichitravirya also died. Then Satyavati asked Ved-Vyasa, because Ved-Vyasa was a sage, he had a lot of magical powers. So Satyavati requested, Satyavati could just think of Ved-Vyasa and Ved-Vyasa will appear. Imagine. These days we have to call and we have to shout on. So Aryan and Shivani here, they are on first floor, we are on ground floor. Mama is saying, come, food is ready. And they might come, they might not come. And then we have to chase. But those days, Satyavati, she will just think and Vyasadeva is there right at front. Imagine if this could happen with Adi. Adi's mom will think, and Adi will just appear, leaving everything. Adi will just appear right at the front of his mom. That could be scary, isn't it? That could be scary for me as well, right? That will save a lot of time and hassle. But it was magical those days, right? So Satyavati asked Vedvyas. Vedvyas did his magic, and there's a story behind it, but he got Ambika, Ambalika kids. So from now, if we see the arrows, Vichitravirya and Ambalika, they gave birth to Pandu, right? And Vichitravirya and Ambika gave birth to Dhritarashtra. So the question was how these two are related. So Vedvyas is there and Dhritarashtra is there. Now Dhritarashtra's father was Vichitravirya, Vichitravirya's mother was Satyavati, and Satyavati's son was Vedvyasa. So you can say Dhritarashtra was the nephew, because if you say Vichitravirya and they had the same mother, they could be cousin brothers. So you can say Vedvyas was Dhritarashtra's uncle. But Vedvyas actually gave a lot of, you might remember, Dhritarashtra could just see, no, Dhritarashtra could not see. Dhritarashtra had Sanjay with him. And Vedvyas was the one who came to Dhritarashtra and said, I will give you the Drivya Dishti. You could just see the Mahabharata happening in Kurukshetra right here from your palace. And he said, I don't want to watch, because I've been blind since my birth. I have not seen these children grown up. I don't want to see them die. Could you give all that technology to Sanjay? And then Vedvyas was the one who did it. But you could say Vedvyas was the maternal uncle of Dhritarashtra in today's modern language, I guess. I think this is what Ishan asked.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for such an interesting question, because I never thought of that. I never thought how they're related. Right, okay, let's go. Okay. So, okay, we are going, okay. Sometimes I go fast, sometimes slides go fast. All right, okay. So we have just a few minutes left, and we did this, right? Okay, so we discussed karma kanja, karma yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga, bhakti yoga, and following slides we just went into a lot more detail in each of them. So those who were there or those who watched the recordings would recognize these. But we will do all of them, because remember, rest of the chapters, they cover all of them anyways. For example, Nishkam Karma Yoga is the next topic we will deal with. So we have seen Arjuna asked, Sthit Pragya. Sthit, somebody who is always in Krishna consciousness, what are the symptoms of that person? How do we know? So this is one of those ways we figure out who is a real guru, who is a real spiritual master, rather than anybody who starts speaking and then they end up in the jail doing wrong things. Who is a real guru, who is a real spiritual being? When Krishna explains, hey, in Bhagavad-Gītā, we don't even need to go anywhere else. Bhagavad-Gītā explains it. The language, how the person's mentality is, and how a person engages himself. And Srila Prabhupada is a great example. And there are many other acharyas. So Srila Prabhupada's spiritual master, his spiritual master, his spiritual master, his spiritual master, and then 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. They all are living example. Well, they're not living now, but they were living at a point in a very, very near, right? Within last 400 years, they all were there. And this is the one we discussed next after that, which was, how do we get angry? And it's so interesting. How do we get greedy? And it's so interesting. because I don't want to get angry. I don't want to be greedy. So what do we need to do? What do we need to do? Wow. Okay. Hare Krishna. Adi, I just got your message. Adi, if you don't know, Adi loves sending messages. And Adi has just said, please, can we stay for 30 minutes more? Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for your keenness. And this is why I said, Ari, that you're so good, that you have such a desire. I'm so confident that in your previous birth, you were almost enlightened. And that's why you have so much taste for the holy name. Hare Krishna. But Adi, we will come back, but we won't be able to stay for another 30 minutes because different people got different commitments, right? But so good to know that you would like to hear more. But we will be back next weekend, right? And you can always join the Saturday morning sessions as well if you are available, because your questions are sometimes even much more sensible and full
What
of.
time does it start? Saturday morning.
Saturday we start 9:30 in the morning, 9:30 till 10:30.
Then I won't be able to be there.
Okay, no worries. That's why we are here Sunday evenings as well for you. Okay. Hare Krishna. So this is what we discussed, and this is probably the last thing in chapter 2, where Krishna explains the whole cycle. And the previous session we went into detail how do we get angry, and the whole reason is desire. Now Srila Prabhupada ji said desire, and that's desire for Krishna, right? But here the process of fall down is desire of material things, material desire. So we could have a material desire, we could have a spiritual desire. If we have material desire, this cycle explains we will never be happy. And if we have a spiritual desire, then Krishna explains further that we will always be happy. Remember, rather than happy, we will be blissful, which means, yes, we will get pain in our body. Yes, we will fall down like Arjun. Yes, Arjun also lost his family members. But that was the material. By spiritually, he was blissful because he was right there with Krishna. And we will able to feel the presence of Krishna as well. Right? Of course, we all are so lucky that we have our parents with us. So parents are representatives of the Lord. They are always there. So what Krishna would like to do directly to us, they are there. They get it done. Krishna gets done those things by our lovely parents. So we should always be full of gratitude toward our parents. But whenever we get angry, always think, do we have a desire? And that desire didn't get fulfilled, and that's the reason I got angry. Not only you being the kids, the adults as well. Because obviously Bhagavad-Gītā is for everyone. Hare Krishna. Right. So the result itself, what happens if we do that? What happens if we will be in Krishna consciousness? And what happens if we are not in Krishna consciousness? This is also we discussed last time. Hare Krishna. So that message says that it's the time now. Next time we will go further, and this title is wrong, but chapter 3 is Karma Yoga, and we will go further and we will try to understand karma much more details. And there are a lot of stories for the karma, funny ones, interesting ones, weird ones, and we will try to take all of them in. So with that, I would like to take your permission. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev Maharaj ki jai,
Jai.
Samaved Bhaktarinda ki
Jai.
Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much everyone for your presence. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to see you. I will confirm whether I will be able to do next Sunday or not, because I will be traveling on Saturday and I will be away for maybe 2 Sundays. But I will confirm if I could find someone else who could do the session, so you have the continuity going. Otherwise, you might have a couple of Sundays break, and then we will come back after that. But I will confirm in the WhatsApp group. Hare Krishna, everyone. Take very good care of yourselves. Keep Krishna in the center. Hare Krishna.